Hey guys, welcome to my channel. And here we are on day 7 of Leetcode solving easy problem section. So let us go to today's problem. And today's problem is merge two sorted lists. So I will read the problem statement. Merge two sorted linked lists and return a sorted list. The list should be made by splicing together the nodes of the first two lists. So here we are given two linked list. Now what we need to do is merge these two linked list, and here it is given that the list should be made by splicing together. Means we need to cut this list and make it together to make another list like this, which will be in sorted order. So. Uh, what we need to do is traverse the list and then check for the values on the both of the side, and whichever value is less we need to point its next to the other list, and the other we need another pointer that will hold off the other values so that it does not get lost. And then we need to traverse again. Then we again check which of them is smaller, and then again do the same. So we are given a linked list structure here. For example, so we have a value inside of it and next to store the address of the next variable. Okay, so let us make a dummy node first. So we can call it as list dummy. We can call this constructor here. We created a dummy pointer that will point to a empty node that we have just created. Now what we need another pointer that will be equal to this pointer. So we will name it as tail, and we will assign fine. Now we can start a loop. So while L1 not N1 next, or better L1 not equals to null, or L2. So if one of them becomes null, then we will come out of this loop. So here we need to do a if condition. If if L1 value or val, if L1's val is smaller than L2's val, then we will do something here, and else. So let this list be L1 and let this list be L2. So we are traversing. First of all, there is a check whether L1 is pointing here, L2 is pointing here. So we check whether L1 is equal is uh, L1 is not equals to null. Yes, correct. L2 not equals to null. Correct. So we have both true, and we should put a here, and both should be not equals to null. Yeah, fine. So both should not be equals to null. So both is not equals to null, and it is true. So we will get inside, and then we will check whether L1's value is smaller than L2's value. So it is not. So we go into the else condition. What we will do now, we have a dummy node here and a tail pointing to this dummy node. Now the tail's next is null. What we will do is tail next is equals to L. So this is L2. So L2, and then we will move L2 is pointing here right now. So we will move L2 to its next value, since we are consuming this value, and we have a pointer pointing to this value. So we that is tail. So what we will do, will make L2 point to this value now, so that this get does not get lost. So L2 is equals to L2's next. Now L2 is pointing to this node, and we have our dummy node and a tail that is pointing to here. Now again, what we need to do is from dummy node we need to move our tail to here. So we have made tails next as this node. So we will move our tail from dummy node to here, this one. So tail equals to tails next. Next, what we need to do is loop again and check whether L1 and L2 has become if both are null or not. So L1 is not equals to null, L2 is also not equals to null. We get inside the loop, and then again we check, is L1's value is smaller than L2's value? Yes. So we get inside the this if condition, and now what we need to do is do the same thing. Now we need to point tails next equals to this. So since we have L2 pointing to this, so if we move this pointer to here, we won't lose this list. So what we will make is tails next to this L1. So tails next is equals to L1, and then again now we have tails next pointing here. So what we need to do is L1 is also pointing here. So since we have consumed this number, so what we will do is make L1 point to the next number. So L1 is equals to L1's next. Now now we need to move our tail from here to here, since we have consumed this variable with this node. So what we will do is tail is equals to tails next, and that's it. Now for the next round, L1 is pointing here, L2 is pointing here. So it will check whether L1 is equals to null or not. It will check L2 is equals to null or not. And since both are not null, then it will enter inside the loop, and then it will check whether L1's value is smaller than L2's value or not. And it is smaller, so it will go inside the if loop. And what it will do is it will point the tails next to this value, and it is the same, so nothing will happen. And L1 equals to L1, L1 is pointing here now, so L1 will point to this next variable 4 now, and we have consumed this variable, so we will move our tail from here to here. And then again we will loop again, and then we will check between these two, and then it will go inside the else case. Then we will consume this variable, this node, and then again between these two we will have a check. Then we will consume this one and then this one. So this is how our loop is going to work. But after consuming this one, this L2 will become null. So L2 will become null, and we will have a value remaining here, that is 4. So after this loop is finished, we need another condition, that is if L2 is equals to null, then what we need to do is tails next is equals to L1. So when this is totally consumed and 4 is remaining here, what we did is after uh, what we did from tails next, we pointed it to this last node, and it was already pointing to null, so we got our whole sorted list. Similarly, if this node was consumed first, this whole list was consumed first, and there was remaining 4 here, then we need to provide a similar kind of condition, that if L1 is equals to null, then tails next is equals to L2. And after that what we need to do is we need to return the head, which will start from 1. So we had a dummy node, and then we made it pointed here. So what we need to do is return from dummies next. So dummies next is 1, and we will return dummy next. Okay, so let us run our code. And the base case has passed. Let us submit our code, and it has been accepted. So if you like my solution, then please subscribe to my channel. Or if you have any other comments or any better solution, then please comment on the comment box. Thank you for watching.